Sure, the album will be released through rockthreads.com/EFC, and it's almost going to be strictly online sales for the first couple months, but you can also purchase the album at shows, and we actually advise that. That's the best way to get an album right there. And there will also be a package available through Rock Threads that we're going to offer where you can get a t-shirt and a CD and a sticker for 20 bucks. Well, this last album we all wrote equally, and that's kind of the beauty of this album we're getting ready to release February 1st is it's the first album we've all put together, we've all written together equally, and that was a very important thing. The previous albums we had before, Travis had done a majority of the writing for the first album, he and Chad did, and then I came on board and just, you know, we kind of put it together last minute for that album, and then the album after that, Never the Same, was a similar story with Rodney coming in on the saxophone. And so this album we have coming up, Patterns, on February 1st is really the first album that we can say we've all written together and is a really powerful, better representation of where we're going and what we're doing musically. It was expensive. It was pretty expensive, and but I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think as far as difficulties with previous albums, it wasn't necessarily like a difficulty. I just think in the past we put ourselves in more of a time crunch, so we find ourselves like, okay, we gotta hurry and write a song, we gotta hurry and get the album out. And so we kind of we put more pressure on ourselves to put the album out. This last album, it took us almost about a year.
We took our time,
yeah. But like I said, we took our time, and I mean, I think we're all really happy with the product, and it's not like, oh, we should have did this. I mean, it's something I feel like, the rest of the guys feels like we're all pretty like, yeah, this album's gonna be tight. So
I think that maybe the harder thing about, you know, as we come, obviously naturally we get older, and as you get older, you know, more things arise, and we all grow up. You know, at the time we were in college, straight out of high school. And just wanted to play music for a living, and now I think it's becoming more and more urgent for us to every day try to make progress, so you know we can make this our life and continue doing this and support a good life doing that too. Where before, maybe in college, it was about the weekend and, you know, just the good times, and that's all. That's, you know, we were kids, and that's what it needed to be at that time. But I think, and that's not really a harder thing. That's just part of life. I think with anybody, no matter what you do. Whether it's music or anything you follow and you want to do, you know. So.
I'm gonna have to say, I mean, not to sound maybe pompous, but I think all the songs are really good. Yeah. We're happy. There isn't if somebody put in the CD and hit random, we'd be happy with whatever they pulled up on this last album. I mean, like they were saying, we spent time on it, you know, and each song has a lot of time that went into it, thought that went into it, and a heart that went into it, and so I think we're happy with the whole album.
And I think, our goal is to never put out, especially now that we've grown, we don't want to put out anything subpar. We actually had 14 tracks on the record and cut it down to 11 because we felt the 3 we were cutting ourselves short by just kind of spinning it out, you know, for the sake of having more tracks. And we didn't want to, you know, we'd rather work on it and kind of nurture it a little more before just kind of putting it out there. And I think that's a big step we've made too. With taking our time, we've become more conscious of what, you know, people are paying attention now and kind of wanting to see what we're doing. So it's up to us now to make sure anything we do put out, like you said, with any of the tracks, I'm totally happy. I think a lot of some of the pre-release we've done, a lot of people have liked track 8, Reap What You Sow. But I mean, they're all great tracks. I think each track has a unique, you know, its own sound and message too. So I think, you know, it's a good variety. Okay, my freshman year, I lived in the dorms with a guy named Mike Brusella, and he told me a story about how his father knew this guy from Llano, Kingsland, Marble Falls area in Central Texas, and he was kind of the town, not a legend because he was around town. He was a homeless guy that had a guitar and I guess his bag of belongings and just kind of strummed and was, you know, a happy guy, didn't cause any trouble, and the town got to know him, and his name was Charlie, and pretty soon they gave him the name 11 Finger Charlie. And my college roommate told me this story about this guy from this town, and like I said, we were doing acoustic shows just kind of under our own names and sounded more like a country act. And of course we weren't doing country or folk, it was more reggae, and we needed some type of stage name, and So that's where we got the idea. We didn't think about it too much. We just, the next kind of show we did, we went under that name. And that's how, ever since then, we kept going under that name. So that's how the name came about. There wasn't too much thought in it, but we owe that one to Mike.
That's
Mike
a good thing
Solo.
sometimes.
Yeah.
We came together separately over years, essentially, because it, you know, it's a project is organic. Sometimes members come in and out, but Travis started it back in 2001, and then I came in later, I guess a few years later, and Rodney came in a year after that, and then Justin came in just recently.
I was stripping. I needed cash.
So
we all met in San Marcos, Texas. We all went to college there at Texas State. When we started, it was Southwest, and then kind of met there in college as college friends, and then started doing acoustic nights, and then slowly, you know, it turned into, you guys need a drummer, and so we went through some stuff of that. Dustin and I met actually at a hot tub in San Marcos.
that sounds bad.
He was with a lady, but hot tubs are pretty popular in San Marcos. But that's how we met, and then we decided we wanted to jam together, and went to the music lab here in Austin. And Justin is he's from California originally, but came to Austin how long ago? I guess
3 years ago, 2006, I moved down here. I was in the Navy for a few years, and then moved back out to California and wasn't happy with it. And then had a buddy who got a room in Austin, came down here, fell in love with these guys' music. I was in Hawaii for 3 years and didn't hear reggae as good as what these guys could produce, and you know, just hanging around.
And as far as I got introduced to the band through our older bass player. He had actually worked in my apartment complex, so he was showing me the tours of our apartment, and he was kind of like, "Hey, what do you do?" I was like, "Yeah, I play sax. I play some bands around." He's like, "Hey, you come jam with our band sometime." So a year later, I finally decided to jam with him at a pool party at my apartment complex. It was convenient.
Really hot too.
Yeah, it's super hot.
Man.
Rodney had an umbrella over his head, blocking the sun.
I got my first tan.
We love Austin.
Yeah.
Austin's a great place. It's a good thing when you're on tour, and obviously it's always good getting to any home, no matter where your home is or where you make your home. But it is nice to know we look forward to coming back to our city that we're from, and there's a lot of nice cities out there for sure. And we haven't even touched. There's a lot. We've got a lot of touring and places to see too as well. But I personally love Austin. We always talk about it on the way home. We get excited about obviously coming back to family too, but just the city and how it's a homey city.
And warm.
And warm.
Yeah,
and warm. No snow.
We got back from Colorado, and it was like negative 24 on the mountain, and we were like, "God damn, let's get back to Austin. This is brutal."
Can't wait for that sun.
Yeah, we came back here. It's like what, 70 degrees outside. I put my shorts on, the sandals going, the chocolates. Can't beat that. We've already started work on the fourth album, actually, and we're always trying to improve and tighten up the live show. But right now, we're just like we did with this last album. We're going to spend time on the fourth album, and we're going to make sure that it sounds equally as good, if not better, than the album that we're getting ready to release on February 1st. But writing is always a huge facet as to what we do. I mean, above and beyond business and numbers and all of that, I mean, we have to be able to sit down and write and create together. And I think that's kind of where we're at right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
And another thing we're actually just started talking about is we're actually looking into trying to get at each local city we go to, trying to do some charity work with what we're doing too, to try to help out anytime we come to a community, and maybe we've been talking about it, maybe $3 for for a $10 CD, every $3 goes to a certain organization or charitable nonprofit group or whatever in that town. And it's in the beginning stages, but that's something, of course, the writing process and creating comes first with the project, because that's what started it, and that's what we got to maintain. But we're also looking at ways to, to create a living for ourselves, but also to give back too, and it just feels better doing stuff like that. That's something we've done a few benefits here and there, and it always feels good, but it would just be nice. I mean, it's such a small token. I think we've also seen what's been going on in Haiti recently, and seen how, we really have it good here where we're at, in spite of even the downtimes here in America. And it's important to give back. So that's the one thing we're looking to in 2010, try to work on that with our live show.